Hello, hello. I hope you can hear me all right. We are back, or I am back with our chat on the mat sessions, except you can probably see that I'm not on a mat, I'm not inside, I'm outside, and that will become clear in a minute. Anyway, how are you? Have you had a good Easter? I hope you have. We've had lots of rain, which is good for the grass and the flowers, and had some lovely days out and spent some family time and so on. So I hope you've had a lovely Easter. So I'm back today with a chat on the mat. And like I say, I'm not on the mat because this is all about, I'm going to talk to you about sitting less. And so I didn't feel it was really right for me to be sat down talking to you whilst I'm talking about stop sitting and sitting less. I felt it was a bit hypocritical. So I thought, well, I've been working at my desk this morning. I thought I need a break. I need to get up and walk around. So we are practicing what we are preaching. So, yes, sitting less, moving more. Now, we all know, and I'm sure you have heard, that sitting's not great for us. Sitting's not good, especially for long periods of time where we're sat in one position. And many of us over the years have ended up with different sorts of chairs where we kneel on, or we sit with different backs, we're supportive, or it's a stool or whatever, and we sit in different ways because we're trying to sit with the right posture. Well, let me just stop there. There isn't a right posture, okay, and I'm going to talk about this a bit more in a minute. There's an ideal which we can work towards. However, again, let me come on to posture in just a second, a bit more. Now, sitting. We all know that if we sit for prolonged periods of time, it is not good for our health. And I've got a few statistics here, which I'll have to read because I'm afraid I'm no good at remembering facts in my head. I read them, and I'm like, oh, that's really interesting. And 2 minutes later, it's gone out of my head. So I've got it here written down. So 12 hours a day is the amount of time the average person in the UK spends sitting. 12 hours. I don't think we're awake for much longer than that, so that's quite a long time. And research shows if we sit for more than 8 hours a day with no other sort of physical activity within the day, it's a similar health risk as to being obese or smoking. That's pretty scary. Really a low risk of sitting is sitting for less than 4 hours a day. I know I sit for more than that, and I'm sure lots of you do too. The 3.2 million a year related to physical inactivity, and it's actually physical activity is actually the 4th leading risk factor for global mortality. So again, they're pretty scary statistics. So no, sitting isn't great for us, not for prolonged periods of time. However, we very much live in a sedentary society. Lots of what we do is sitting, and all this sitting is included when you're sat down eating, when you're sat in a car driving, when you're sat at desk working, when you're sat watching the telly or whatever. All of that sitting is included. So it's not just sat at your desk working, all right? Any sitting. We reduce our circulation. It affects our focus, our productivity, our concentration, and so on and so forth. So what do we do? Well, what have lots of us done? We've got a standing desk. We've stood up. We're trying to have breaks in the middle of our day and walk around, which is brilliant. It's all great. So let me talk a bit more about standing, because I know a few of you got standing desk, and in my Facebook group I did a poll a couple of weeks ago as to what were people doing to incorporate more movement into their day, or what were they doing in order to sit less. And lots of people voted and said they've got a standing desk. Brilliant. However, it's not all good news, I'm afraid, and it's not all as good as we think. The standing desk is not the solution, because all you're doing is swapping one static posture for another static posture. Okay, so let me come back to posture. we always are thinking about our posture and that ideal posture and standing up and shoulders are down and we're standing tall and we're gauging through our tummy muscles. We're not slouched forwards, we're not hollow arched back, and so on and so forth. We're always trying to find that ideal posture, whether we're sitting and we're sitting up straight. You think, oh, I start slouching at my desk. Oh, I need to sit up straight. I need to have a good posture. And the same when we're walking. And we think about standing up tall. But the problem with that is actually a static posture is not good, especially for prolonged periods of time, whatever posture that is. Even if it's what we call in inverted commas a good posture, if we're just holding it fixed in one position, it's still not very healthy for us. Your best posture, a good posture, or whatever, your good posture, a good posture is your next posture, meaning good posture is about moving and about being dynamic and moving from one posture to another. So if you are sat still for a long period of time, then fidget, move around, shift your weight from one hip to the other. I like sitting on a ball, and you can wiggle around and you can move your hips, and you can get your back in different positions and so on. So moving is the key. It's not about sitting or standing, or sitting less and standing instead, because when you're standing still. Now, yes, there are benefits. I've got some here. You're standing, you burn more calories when you stand than when you're sitting. You tend to have, there has been research, especially done by those companies that sell standing desks, that you have an improved mood, increased productivity, and so on when you're standing. But if you're standing still, there are still risks. If you are standing still and not moving, you still will have poor circulation. The blood tends to pool to the bottom of our feet, around our ankles. Our ankles tend to swell. With that poor circulation, comes other health risks. If we're just standing, the blood finds it harder to get back up to our heart, okay, because it's the muscles that need to work to pump the blood back up towards our heart. It's got a long way to go, especially if you're a tall person. And so there are lots of, I'm just checking my notes here because I want to make sure I don't forget anything to tell you. The effects of gravity, is difficult when you're standing, and you can end up with quite weak veins, all right, because they're not being used, basically. We get joint compression. So from sitting and standing, if you're in a static position, in a static posture, however good that posture is, you can, your joints become compressed, and especially in the spine, gravity is pulling on you all day long. It's pulling you down. And without any movement, your joints don't get any lubrication. They don't get to move, they don't lubricate themselves, and then you end up with them being painful or aching or feeling sore. So, okay, you might be thinking, if you're listening to this now, you might think, okay, Gila, fine, right, I can't sit for too long and I can't stand for too long. What am I meant to do? Well, the answer is move, which is why I'm out here in my garden, walking up and down, even though my hands are cold, rather than sat on the mat, even just sat in a different position, because it's about moving. And it's moving regularly, on a regular basis. And incorporating that movement into your day. So there's a few things that you can do. There's the normal stuff, which I'm sure people have heard, where take regular breaks, get up, move, change position. You can move, of course, from a seated position, seated desk, to a standing desk. Great. Shift your weight around, move around, shift your hips side to side, fidget, okay? We often tell children not to fidget, sit still, sit still. Well, no, fidget away, it's good for you. Keep fidgeting. So take regular breaks, walk around, take the stairs instead of the lift, and all of these things. Get out in the garden, get a break from the screen or from whatever you're doing, and walk. You can do bite-sized Pilates. That is one way you can do it. Lots of my members do that. They use their Pilates as a break from sitting down, and exercise will help to combat any prolonged seating or sitting or standing postures, because you're moving your body. Yeah, so you're helping that lubrication of the joints, you're helping the circulation, and you're changing those postures. And most importantly, we were born to move. We were born to move. And I talk about this more in my book, Enjoy Moving and Feel Fabulous, about how important this movement is. So I'm sorry to say that if you have a standing desk, that is not going to be the solution to all your problems of sitting. Okay, it's going to help. It's better than nothing, but it's not enough on its own. Sitting down, standing up, being in static positions is not good for long periods of time. We want to move your body, fidget around, take a break. On my YouTube channel, Gila Archer Pilates, there are several different sessions where you can just take a break from your desk. Some are seated, but that's fine because you're moving. Okay, you're still sat in a chair, but you're moving your body in different ways. Some are standing, some just, away from the desk. And obviously there's other sessions where you're on your mat and so on as well. So take a break, get moving. My message today to you is it's not just about sitting less and then, standing at your desk or changing from one static position to another static position. It's about moving all the time, fluidly moving. So what I should have said at the beginning was stop whatever you're doing and get up and move whilst you're listening to me. I know some of you, put your earphones in and listen on as you're walking around. So get up and move, walk, get the muscles working, get the circulation going. Look after your health. Okay, I don't think we possibly know the real extent to how much our sedentary and static lifestyle, the impact that has really on our health. It's coming out more and more. We're talking about it more and more, which is good, but we can still do more. So what are you going to do now? Hopefully, if you've listened to my message and those statistics I said at the beginning, which are pretty scary, you're going to get up and move and go and do something. So get up, move, walk, stretch, do some Pilates, run up the stairs, take the dog for a walk, go and fidget, just do something and move your body. I'll put some links below to my YouTube channel and other things that might help you as well and support you if you're interested. So enjoy your day, stop sitting, stop being in a static position and move and fidget is my message to you today. So enjoy. Have a good day, and I will catch up with you. I'll be back next week for another chat on the mat or chat walking around. All right, see you soon. Take care.